Zealandia. There's a continent larger than India that most people have never heard of. It's not an island, it's not a sunken city, it's not Atlantis. It's a continent. A genuine continent recognized by geologists and scientists. It's a landmass stretching across millions of square miles. It has mountains, valleys, ancient rock, entire ecosystems. The only problem is 94% of it is underwater. If you stood on a ship in the South Pacific and looked across the waves, you could spend your entire life sailing above Zealandia without ever realizing an entire continent was hiding beneath you. It's not lost. It's not mythical. It's simply forgotten. And perhaps that is stranger, because somewhere beneath the ocean, beneath darkness and pressure and miles of cold water, lies the ghost of a continent that never completely disappeared. Welcome back to Tavern Reflections. Pull up a chair and pour yourself something warm and settle in beside the fire for tonight's reflection. Tonight we leave behind haunted houses and lonely roads and forgotten lighthouses and sail instead into the deep Pacific Ocean. I love this one, guys. Beneath those waters lies something that sounds impossible. A continent most people never learned about in school. I know I didn't. A continent hidden beneath the sea. A continent called Zealandia. Now, Jack Tucker once remarked, the world keeps entire chapters hidden and then acts surprised when nobody remembers them. That's a true story, straight from Jack, but tonight's reflection may have been one of these chapters that the world kept hidden. And if you enjoy strange places, forgotten history, ancient mysteries, and wanderings through the edges of reality, more strange doors await at TravisSivart.com. Last name same as the first, but in reverse. Now, let's go looking for a continent. Most of us grew up learning there are 7 continents. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica. A lot of A's, by the way, right? Anyhow. Simple, neat, comfortably organized, the sort of thing printed on classroom walls. But the Earth has never been particularly interested in our need for neat categories. Because beneath the waves and the water surrounding New Zealand and New Caledonia lies an entire continent covering nearly 2 million square miles. A continent geologists called Zealandia. And unlike Atlantis, there's no mystery about whether it exists. It does. Scientists have mapped it, studied it, measured it. Its rocks differ from the ocean's floor surrounding it. Its crust is thicker. It is geologically distinct. By every meaningful scientific measure, Zealandia qualifies as a continent. The oddity is not that it exists. The oddity is that almost all of it sank. Imagine North America sinking until only the Rocky Mountains remained above the waves. Imagine Europe disappearing except for the Alps. Imagine an entire continent becoming little more than scattered islands surrounded by endless sea. That is Zealandia. The visible peaks remain: New Zealand, New Caledonia, a handful of smaller islands. Everything else lies beneath the Pacific Ocean. And for millions of years, The ocean has kept its secret. One of the reasons Zealandia captures the imagination is because it feels like science fiction. Not because of aliens, not because of conspiracies, but because it reminds us how incomplete our understanding of the world we live on and walk on and deal with every day. Our understanding still incomplete. It's incredible. When we look at maps, we assume the major discoveries have already been made. They found all the... No. The blank spaces are gone? Not true. The dragons have been removed from the margins? Not quite. The age of discovery is over. Don't be naive. There's an entire continent sat beneath the Pacific while most people remain completely unaware of it. You know, there's something humbling about that. Imagine standing on a cliff in New Zealand, beautiful place anyway, that I'd love to visit. Wind moving through the grass, waves crashing against black rock, clouds drifting overhead. Everything appears ordinary. Yet your feet stand on the highest point of a continent, mostly drowned long before human beings existed. You're not standing on an island. You're standing on a mountain peak of a continent that sank. That changes everything. The psychological landscape in your own head, suddenly every horizon feels deeper. Every coastline feels stranger because were they meant to be a coastline? And every wave hides more than water. The story of Zealandia it's not one of sudden catastrophe. There wasn't a single day when the continent vanished. No apocalyptic flood, no cosmic disaster. Instead, Zealandia slowly sank. Millions of years passed. Tectonic forces stretched and thinned the continental crust. The land gradually subsided. The ocean advanced. Mountain ranges became islands. Valleys became seafloor. Forests vanished beneath the waves. Rivers disappeared. Entire ecosystems transformed. Imagine watching a continent drown in slow motion over tens of millions of years. No witness could ever perceive it. No civilization could record it. Tens of millions of years. Our civilization has only been around, well, if you want to count our country, we're coming up on the 250th anniversary. If you want to look at our culture of the West, what do we got? 7,000 years. If we look at all human history, 48,000 years, something along those lines. Tens of million years. No civilization could even come close to recording it. The process happened so slowly that life simply adapted while the world changed around it. And perhaps that's one of the strangest lessons hidden inside Zealandia. The greatest transformations, listen carefully here, the greatest transformations rarely happen all at once. Sometimes entire worlds disappear 1 inch at a time. That's a personal lesson for you folks. Sometimes remember, nothing happens overnight. It takes time for change to happen. Personal or geological. Keep that in mind. No pressure on yourself. Give it the time it needs. So, today, scientists continue studying Zealandia's hidden geology. Beneath the sea lie ancient mountain chains, fault systems, volcanic formations, sedimentary basins, the remains of environments that once existed beneath the open sky. I'd like to imagine there's entire forests and plains and all still there, just stubs and nubs and bit. Of course, they're probably not. They're probably covered by ocean sand and anemones and crabs and all the things that inhabit the ocean. But it's not difficult to imagine what those landscapes once looked at. Matter of fact, it's difficult to not imagine it. What forests once stood there? What creatures moved through the valleys, through the lowlands? What coastlines vanished beneath rising water? Isn't it delicious to think of that? The human imagination naturally fills empty spaces. Not because we're foolish, but because, well, I am, and I think most of us are storytellers. We love to tell a story. And Zealandia leaves an enormous amount of space to wonder. Cloud Source once observed, most people assume discovery ends when something is found. Discovery actually begins there. So, discovery doesn't end when you find something. It begins there. Because now you get to explore that. Zealandia feels like that. It's not a solved mystery. Doorway. A reminder that Earth remains stranger than our maps suggest. There's something deeply comforting about Zealandia. Oddly enough. Because it reminds us how much remains beyond our awareness. Modern life often creates the illusion that everything important has already been cataloged, named, measured, explained, invented, discovered, whatever. Yet, beneath the Pacific Ocean lies an entire continent most people never even think about. They don't even know it existed. They've never even heard of it. It's not hidden by magic. It's hidden by scale. Perhaps that's the lesson. The world is still larger than our attention, still deeper than our assumptions. Oh, and do we like to assume? The world is still capable of surprising us. And that's good news, because wonder survives wherever certainty ends. When you're no longer certain, there is an opportunity for wonder. So, tonight, somewhere beneath dark Pacific waters, ancient mountains still rise from a continent few people know exist. Storms pass overhead, whales migrate across its drowned valleys. Currents sweep through landscapes older than humanity itself. And Zealandia waits beneath it all. It's not lost, not forgotten. It's just around a corner that we never go to from the rest of the world. So until next time, mind the shadows. And remember that some of the strangest places on Earth are hiding in plain sight. And if you like that sort of thing, there's more waiting at TravisSivart.com.